I'm Heather, and this is a Living with Addiction podcast, where I show you how you have more power than you realize when it comes to helping yourself and your child that's struggling with addiction. Hello. I am so sorry that there was no episode last week. I've never skipped a week before, but if you're a regular listener, you know that I had 2 breast cancer related surgeries since early June. And the second one was unexpected. And honestly, it was much harder of a surgery than I expected. So I just was not able to do a podcast last week. And I am sorry about that, but we're getting back on schedule. I had over prepared and created more episodes than I needed for my original surgery that I had planned to have, but it just wasn't enough to carry me through 2 surgeries. So I just had to improvise with some shorter podcasts for a few weeks. Then last week, as you know, I just wasn't even able to do one. But this week I have a guest host, and next week we'll just be back to the regular schedule. But Kelly Hatcher is hosting the podcast for me today. So this is just an introduction. I interviewed Kelly in episode 30. So if you haven't listened yet, you can check out that episode as well. Her story, I'm sure that you will find you really resonate with and that feel like you have a lot in common with her. And Kelly is a family recovery coach because she has a son that struggles with addiction. So she's been through it all, just like you and I have. And the other day, Kelly and I were texting about how we both felt like hiding from the world. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to enter life again. And it felt overwhelming for me, even though I'm dying to just get back in the middle of everything. And she said that she was in a funk too. But she graciously offered to do a podcast on that subject for me, to give me an extra week to get things going. And I thought it was a great idea because it happens to all of us. We all experience it. It's just a part of life. But again, it's one of those things that we judge ourselves for it when it happens, and we don't always know how to help ourselves through it. So I think this episode that Kelly made has a lot of great tips for what to do when you end up in that inevitable funk. I also want to take just a minute to really say a very heartfelt, huge thank you for all the love and support I've received during this time, all the people that have reached out to me. It really helped me get through the last couple of months. And I just want to share that for the first week or so after my first surgery, it was really like Christmas around here, like getting flowers and cards and gifts, like something showed up every day. And it helped me more than I can say. It has been such a physically and emotionally challenging experience that those acts of kindness were such a bright spot for me. And I feel very emotional just sharing that because that's how much it meant to me. It made the experience easier for me. And as I've been recovering, my life has felt really small. No work, no daily walks, none of my normal schedule that is a big part of why I feel so good every day. No visits with friends. I wasn't able to read or meditate, or a lot of times, like, I would just lay in bed because that was all I was capable of. And so it's just this 24/7 focus on recovery most of the time. So even a card or a text had a huge impact on my day because it made me feel connected from the outside world or connected to the outside world when I was feeling very disconnected because I just didn't have the bandwidth to really connect the way I normally do. And sometimes it just felt like the world was moving on without me, and it was just so hard not to be a part of it. I always want to be out there doing all the things. So I'm sharing this with you not just as an opportunity to express my gratitude, but also as a reminder to reach out to people who are going through a hard time. Sometimes we think we don't want to bother people, or we think that they're surrounded by loved ones, which I was, but hearing from people who I wasn't seeing every day was huge for me in this experience. It was so helpful to me. And as a parent dealing with addiction, you know how lonely that pain is. You know how it often feels like nobody cares and everybody is just going on with their life while you're trying to figure out how to make it through the day. So I just want to remind you, because I'm going to be so much more aware of this going forward, that if you know anybody who's struggling or suffering in any way, let them know that you're thinking about them. It could be the best part of that person's day. Don't worry about bothering them. If they can't respond because they're too sick or too busy, then they won't, but they'll know that you are thinking of them. Just be vulnerable and let them know that you care. I mean, we could all use a little bit more of that. Imagine if more people who didn't know what to say reached out to you when you were going through your hardest times. Okay, so starting next week, I'll be back to doing my regular podcast. I have so many things to share. My brain's back to bursting with ideas. So you'll be seeing me online again, and my calendar is open for new clients. I've been staying in touch with my existing clients through this time that I was off for my surgeries, but I have not taken on any new clients during that time. So I'm really excited to open up my calendar for that again. And that's all that I have for now, but keep listening to hear Kelly talk about what to do when you're in a funk.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Living with Addiction podcast. And if you are listening to this and you are a faithful listener of this podcast, you're like, wait, that doesn't sound like Heather. You are absolutely right. I am Kelly Hatcher. I am a friend of Heather's. She actually interviewed me a few podcasts ago, and we're actually both in the family recovery coaching business, and I'm stepping in for her today to talk about a subject that is near and dear to both of our hearts. We are both dealing with our children who are struggling with drug abuse. And right now, there are days that you just feel like you're on fire. You got this. You can handle anything that comes your way. But then again, there are those days when you just feel like you're in a funk, like life stinks. Like there's nothing good about today. You may not want to get out of bed. You may not want to go to work. You may not want to deal with your husband or your kids. And we're here to tell you that that is normal. That is absolutely normal in life. Life is all about having this 50-50 split. 50% of the time of your life, you're going to be really happy, excited about life. And then there's that 50% that just sucks and nothing seems good. And sometimes you're probably talking right now saying, well, that seems like 80% of my life. And I get that because dealing with my son's addiction, I can tell you, I mean, I have felt for years and years, there were times that I just thought, all I want to do is stay in bed. All I want to do is cry. All I want to do is drink wine and numb my pain. And luckily, I got to a point where I realized the only person that was hurting was myself. And I needed to get help. I needed to find a coach that would help me. I mean, I was dealing with therapists, but if any of you have dealt with therapists, a lot of times they aren't into that recovery part. And it's a family disease, as we all know. And sometimes it's tough talking to someone who hasn't walked in your footsteps. And both Heather and I, we're both still walking in your footsteps, and we get it and we understand it. And we both have those days that we're in a funk. I mean, Heather and I have talked about it together of, yeah, I mean, last weekend I was in a funk. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I live alone, and it's just, you can kind of get into those scary situations where you're feeling just really down on yourself. But I'm here to tell you that both Heather and I agree that how we handle those funky days where we just feel like crap is by looking at it. Why am I feeling like this? What is happening in my life to make me feel like this? What both of us have figured out is that self-care really is our number one. Like, we take care of ourselves. We know that for years and years, I never put myself first. I've always put my kids first, my family first. And, I did the mom thing. I, cooked all the meals. I worked all day, but I made sure everybody was taken care of, took them to the games and the sports. And, it just keeps going on and on and on. And I never took care of myself. And then once my son Jake started using, my goal was to fix Jake. I thought, I've got this. I'm going to fix him. I've got a master's in counseling. Like, I know what to do. Well, that is a big load of crock. Like, I don't know what to do. It is his problem. It is his disease. And I am a bystander in it. And I thought I owned it, and I thought I could fix it. And once I realized and worked through all of this, I realized the biggest problem I was dealing with was myself. I wasn't taking care of myself, whether it was I was losing a ton of weight and then I was gaining a ton of weight. I thought I could drink myself through this. I just did everything so wrong to band-aid my funk. And I realized eventually that putting band-aids over it never healed my wounds. It never helped me become the person I am today. The biggest thing I've learned is that I needed to take care of myself. I needed to realize that self-care doesn't mean I'm going to go get my nails done, or it doesn't mean I'm going to go out with my girlfriends and party. It was taking care of my health. It was learning how to meditate. It was getting back into working out. And obviously I'd like the idea of making my body look better. I think we all do, but it was more for the endorphins. It was more of, it helped me realize my brain needed this. I needed to feel happy again. I needed to find joy in my life. And with self-care, that was one step that helped me realize, if I just take, if you even start with like 5 to 10 minutes a day of doing something just for you. It may be a short walk. It could be learning how to meditate. It may be doing yoga. It may be doing a full-blown workout with weights. It could be a massage where you're just releasing the pressure, the tension, anything that is building up, which we all hold all of that in, and it's doing damage. It's hurting our bodies. So for both Heather and myself, we both, she does these sound baths at the beach that just sound so, so beautiful. She lives in Florida. I live in California, and we're like, obviously we're on the opposite sides, but I so want to go visit and just do one of these with her because it just sounds so peaceful. And she does it for herself. She drives hours to get there. She stays, I think it's like an hour and a half, and then she drives hours to get back home, but she's doing it for her. That is the biggest thing. And, I do the same thing now. I do the meditation for myself. I work out for myself. I go on walks. I feel that once you learn to take that control back and realize you are your first priority. There's that old saying of if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. It really never was in my family, but for now, this is where I'm at. I have to take care of myself first. And with that, you have to give yourself a little grace, a little mercy, and realize I'm doing the best I can. Today might be a really crappy day for you, but it's all I have for you. And, tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to work on it again tomorrow, but you need to learn to be gentle. You need to learn to be kind to yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be joyful and find pleasures in life just for you. I heard someone on a podcast this week that was talking about when you talked negatively about yourself of this is so much crap. Everything is happening to me. I can't believe this is happening to me. I've lost my job from COVID. My kid is still using. I think he may die. I think this is happening. I suck. I can't get anything straight. All of that negative talk, it obviously is starting to affect us. Like we start to believe that my world is horrible. It's so negative. And it's absolutely opposite of that. If your child came to you right now and was saying, I'm having a really bad day, mom, would you tell them, yeah, you suck, dude? Like you really suck. No, we would never talk to anybody that we love. We would never talk like that to them. So why do we talk to ourselves like that? If I do something dumb, I'm like, I'm such a dork. Why would I say that? I'm not a dork. Learning to evaluate, analyze your self-talk and realize, whoa. No, I'm a good person. I deserve better. I am enough. By saying these, you start to realize that you are better, but it comes in time. It's not a light switch. It's not something that happens overnight. I literally have sticky notes that I put up on my mirror in my bathroom downstairs, obviously not the public bathroom that's upstairs, but in my bathroom, I have notes all over my mirror. And I see those every morning. If I'm brushing my teeth, I say those notes to myself. I say them out loud. And they're all positive affirmations. And the only person who's gaining from those positive affirmations is myself. Please know that Heather, myself, we know these feelings. We know those days of just feeling frustrated or lonely or angry. I mean, there's so many emotions that pop up when we are dealing with a loved one who's struggling with drugs. We get you, we understand, but we also know, analyze those feelings. Why are you feeling like this? Let's figure it out, work through it, and then move forward. To keep going back to those negative feelings, it's not doing anybody any good. We have to move past them. Stop trying to band-aid them and cover them with alcohol, with food, with denial. address them, deal with them, and move forward. One of the biggest things that Heather and I we talk to each other. Having a friend that is going through the same thing and understands is so, so beneficial. I mean, Heather and I laugh now when we talk about our kids because nobody else would laugh. Like people's eyes would bug out of our heads or their heads when they're listening to us because they're like in total shock of how in the hell do you deal with this? But we're at a place now, like we kind of tag team back and forth. All right, what do you got? And she'll say something and I'll throw a jab and then she throws one at me and we can laugh at it. You have to laugh. You have to laugh in life. It will create those endorphins that keep you going. We want you to know that you have support. Whether you are going into Heather's Facebook group, whether you're reaching out to her, you can reach out to me. We want to help people. This is our goal. We want to help moms. We want to help dads that are struggling and feeling that you're alone, you're in a funk. It's temporary. Life is 50-50. It will get better if you allow it to get better. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. You are beautiful. You deserve the best. I am so lucky to be where I am right now. All of those things will start aggressively making your brain feel stronger and healthier the more you say them. I can tell you from experience, I've been in the funks. I've been there. I live this life. And now when I get in those, I live in it for a minute and then I let it go because it does not serve me a good purpose. I hope that you can take some of this today and realize I am enough. I deserve better. I deserve to be happy. I hope you got something out of this. I'm hoping you have a beautiful day. I really appreciate you allowing me, Heather, to come play on your podcast. And if you want to reach out, I'm at New Day Family Recovery, or you definitely can always reach Heather. Please know we are here. We're here to help you and support you and be your biggest cheerleader. Until next time, I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want to learn more about my work, go to heatherrosscoaching.com. If you want to help other parents who are struggling with a child's addiction, you can do it 2 different ways. First, you can share the podcast with them directly, or you can share it on your social media. Second, you can leave a review. Talk to you next week.